The story of Hosea and Gomer stands out as a poignant allegory of divine love and relentless forgiveness. God's command to Hosea to marry a prostitute, Gomer, was not a capricious directive, but a profound illustration meant to convey a deeper spiritual truth to the people of Israel. Hosea, a prophet in the northern kingdom of Israel, lived during a time when the nation was deeply entrenched in idolatry and moral decay. The people had turned their backs on God, worshipping other deities and indulging in practices that were contrary to the ways taught by their ancestors. In this context, Hosea's personal life was destined to become a living parable of God's relationship with Israel. By instructing Hosea to marry Gomer, God was setting the stage for a vivid prophetic message. Gomer, known for her unfaithfulness, represented Israel, while Hosea, who was committed to his marriage despite the heartbreak, symbolized God. Just as Gomer was unfaithful to Hosea, Israel had been unfaithful to God, chasing after false gods and breaking the covenant they had made. As Hosea walked the dusty roads of Israel, weighed down by the divine command he had received, his heart was torn between bewilderment and obedience. God's instructions were clear yet profoundly unsettling. He was to marry a woman from whom faithfulness was not expected, a woman who might one day betray him, or perhaps a woman whose past was already marred by indiscretions. In one scenario, Hosea might have seen in his wife a semblance of innocence at first, a hope that perhaps her future actions might not mirror the grim expectation. He could have married a woman full of potential and promise, not yet lost to the vices of unfaithfulness. Yet, like a slow poison or a shadow at noon slowly lengthening, her fidelity might begin to wane as the days progressed. Hosea, in this telling, would watch as the woman he loved, perhaps initially loyal, transformed before his eyes, her faithfulness dissolving into something akin to the spiritual adultery Israel committed against God. A woman known among the townspeople for her dalliances, her reputation woven with threads of scandal. In this version, Hosea's marriage would serve as an immediate living symbol of God's enduring relationship with Israel. Each day he remained by her side, he lived out a parable of forgiveness and redemption. His love for her, a love that chose to see beyond her past, mirrored the divine love that continually embraced a wayward Israel despite her incessant wandering to other gods. Hosea walked the winding streets of his village with a heavy heart, his mind wrestling with the divine command he had received. The Lord had chosen for him a path that was as perplexing as it was painful: to marry a woman who would embody the unfaithfulness of a nation, Israel, God's chosen people, who had turned their backs on him to embrace idols. The young prophet might have first met Gomer in the bustling market, or perhaps through mutual acquaintances, her beauty undeniable, her spirit vibrant. Yet beneath her alluring surface, there lay a turmoil and a propensity towards betrayal that would soon unfold. Whether Gomer was already wandering the path of infidelity or was yet to stray, the outcome was destined. She would become a living symbol of Israel's betrayal of God. As Hosea's life with Gomer began, their union seemed marked by the ordinary joys and trials of marriage. But as the days turned to months, Hosea's private anguish grew. Gomer's eyes wandered, her heart grew cold, and soon she left the warmth of their home for the arms of another. Hosea's personal agony mirrored the spiritual betrayal of Israel, as the nation worshipped wooden idols and sought alliances with foreign powers, forsaking the Lord who had delivered them from Egypt. Yet the story did not end with Gomer's departure. In a turn that shocked the community, God spoke to Hosea again, commanding him to do the unthinkable, to find Gomer, who had sunk into the depths of degradation, and buy her back. With money in hand and a heart full of mixed emotions, Hosea went into the places of shadow and shame to reclaim his wife from her life of disgrace. Hosea's journey, fraught with personal pain and prophetic burden, transcends the story of marital strife to symbolize the eternal narrative of redemption woven throughout human history. His act of redeeming Gomer, paying a price to bring her back from the depths of her waywardness, is a powerful echo of the grand theme of salvation that resonates deeply in the heart of the divine. When Hosea stood at the marketplace, counting out the silver to purchase back his own wife, the scene was laden with significance. Each coin clinked with the sound of redemption, a costly redemption that mirrored the price God himself was prepared to pay to salvage his relationship with a wayward nation. This was not just a monetary transaction, it was a profound declaration of unconditional love. The market, usually a place of mundane trade, transformed into a stage for divine drama, illustrating the lengths to which love will go to reclaim the lost. As Hosea led Gomer home, his steps were heavy, not just with the weight of a broken heart, but also with the weight of prophetic symbolism. Every step was a testament to God's willingness to embrace a people stained with sin, to cover their shame with his love, and to restore them to a place of honor despite their disloyalty. This path Hosea walked mirrored the path God invites all humanity to walk with him, a path away from destruction and toward a promised land of spiritual abundance. In this narrative, Hosea embodies the role of a redeemer, not merely as a husband to Gomer, but as a divine envoy, demonstrating God's unyielding commitment to his people. His personal sacrifice and public humiliation in redeeming Gomer were emblematic of God's own readiness to bear the cost of humanity's salvation through the ultimate sacrifice, his own son. Just as Hosea did not forsake Gomer despite her unfaithfulness, God, too, remains faithful to his covenant even when his people stray. This act of redemption was not merely a husband rescuing his spouse, it was a vivid depiction of God's relentless love for his people. Just as Hosea paid to bring Gomer home, God was ready to pay an immeasurable price to redeem Israel from her sins. Hosea's journey from a heartbroken husband to a redeemer reflected God's willingness to forgive and restore his covenant relationship with Israel. Through Hosea and Gomer's tumultuous story, the message was clear: God's fidelity in the face of Israel's infidelity. This narrative was a harsh yet hopeful sermon woven through the lives of a prophet and his wayward wife. It was a story of love's triumph over betrayal, a divine drama unfolding in the everyday lives of a man and a woman caught in the throes of prophetic destiny. As Hosea brought Gomer back to their home, the small village whispered with the scandal, yet Hosea's actions spoke louder than any murmurs. His return with Gomer was not just a statement to those around him, but a profound declaration of his unyielding commitment, reflecting the depth of God's grace. In the privacy of their dwelling, Hosea and Gomer faced the arduous journey of reconciliation and healing, mirroring the divine invitation to Israel to return and be healed. Meanwhile, the prophecy of Hosea echoed through the valleys and hills of Israel, calling the people to witness the symbolic reunion of the prophet and his wife. This public restoration was a vivid tableau of God's mercy and an open call for Israel to forsake their idols and return to their first love, who was neither distant nor indifferent, but passionately involved in the intricacies of their lives. In the subsequent days, Hosea's household became a living parable. Every act of kindness Hosea showed Gomer, every moment of forgiveness, and every shared morning meal became a testament to the people of Israel about the relentless love of God. Hosea's love for Gomer transcended human understanding. It was not based on her faithfulness, but on his commitment to love her as God loved Israel unconditionally and sacrificially. As seasons changed and years passed, the lives of Hosea and Gomer, though marked by past scars, grew into a story of hope and renewal. Gomer, who once wandered, found solace and security in the steadfast love of Hosea. This transformation within their home was a powerful emblem of what God desired for Israel. He sought not merely to correct them, but to transform them, to change their hearts of stone to hearts of flesh, responsive and receptive to His touch. Through Hosea's prophetic ministry, Israel was offered a glimpse of the divine heart, a heart that grieves deeply over loss, but rejoices in the return of the lost. Hosea's relentless pursuit of Gomer dismantled the prevailing notions of divine indifference. It revealed a God who goes to unimaginable lengths to restore a broken relationship, a God who does not wait passively for His people to return, but actively seeks them out in their darkest places. This profound story concludes with a future filled with hope. Hosea's prophecy extends beyond his and Gomer's lifetime, pointing to a time when God will fully and finally heal His relationship with His people. The day will come when the wounds of betrayal will be remembered no more, when the shadows of idolatry will be dispelled by the light of God's presence. In that day, the people will live in peace and prosperity, under the watchful care of a God whose love has been tested by fire, but emerged as pure as gold.